Hi, and welcome to Oshunyami's channel. So, today I'm going to talk about how Sizzla cleared his name because enough people's calling Sizzla's name all up caught up in the Marley drama and the Scotch parting. Well, Sizzla, he cleared his name. He went on to a show and cleared his name. Can't remember what day it was. So I'm going to play him talking because it's important that we hear his side of the story on certain things. Because really, he sounded like he did a lot of work in on the land and also tried to help and try to put in his strength where he can put in his strength. And it's like he's going to get caught up in a whole heap of things. And he therefore went and cleared his name. And this is why I like this man so much because he's truly what he pertains to be. He is a Bobo Shanti man, and he has also, from what I've seen of him, when he went, my thinking is he went to Gambia and he saw what needed to be done, and he went and he bring it back to Jamaica so he can get some youths doing some stuff, some people doing some stuff, constructing stuff, because he was building on some land. I think couple year back, they was fixing some land to put some some food on the land and that as well. So I'm gonna play explain a couple things on his side on all this thing which involve him in the Scotch Pass eviction, on all that. But it's really quite straightforward. He's very plain speaking, well spoken person. So he puts his case straightforward. He don't bounce back. He don't but he has clearly invested in the land. And yeah, I mean, what else could be said? So let's hear from his own mouth what he did for this land and why his name and why he cleared and how and why he cleared his name and how and what he was planning to do and what he wasn't planning to do and everything else, because I think a few channels played him now clearing his name. So I think I'm gonna add him to one videos too, because Sizzler was one of those ones that I used to follow in the 90s, from the early 90s, and he's never changed. Okay, sometimes his lyrics and stuff will change, but he's always been a Rasta man to the end. So, with that said, let him talk his piece, and and you can put under what you think, because I think he was clearly used as the so called scapegoat. Definitely. And you don't do that. You don't throw people under the bus after people do so much good for your community and try to do certain things. You know what I mean? It's just wrong. So, with that said, I'm gonna play now. Okay.
The president.
After keeping the banquet, helping the elders, the light post, and tell the inspector, we said, no, all right, the officers, by the community, in Scotch Bars, Porus, young kids, everyone, 200,000. I said, we're going to buy 12 light posts. I bought 12 light posts, yeah, and I left them on the premises of the Naibigi Center Scotch Bars. I went on tour. When I got back, it was only one light post left.
Some of them really rap out on them things, because them never really,
Yeah. But, so we said, all right, Bongo Daniel, they stole some. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing. You shouldn't have taken anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And obviously you don't know who stole.
No.
But someone stole it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, Bongo Daniel, what's happening now? I left the light post and I went on tour. Despite I went on tour, the light post couldn't have been rotten by the time I got back. So I said, all right. Bongo Daniel said, put it in a concrete, then can't move it.
Yeah.
Put it back.
Right. So that is how I ended up doing all that construction. This was way before going to Bobo Hill. No Bobo Shanty up Bobo Hill, no Sizzla. So I started the construction.
You're talking about 2004, 2005,
Going
right?
up.
Yes or no?
Yeah,
About 4 or
going
5,
up.
right
Yeah,
after.
yeah. So we started that now, started building the tabernacle. There was a pit, and that yesterday pit had been dug for about 20 years. Well, me and Mikey, we do dub plate and stage show, bought some train lines and some stuff, and we covered the pit. I began the construction of the bathroom, 2 bathrooms for the lioness and the lions, and no perfect bathroom. I started the construction of the office. Mr. Rose helped me. He was the architect, and Mr. Rose was the teacher for Sizzla at ACRM doing the architectural studies. So I said, the best person to do this is Mr. Rose. So Mr. Rose now started getting his other friends in the industry of the construction, and we ended up constructing the tabernacle. We ended up buying all the irons. We ended up buying the roof, and Mr. Rose get the persons to do the roof, and they had Bud Spencer and Michael Record can give you the record for all those.
Actually,
who have been, yeah. So there and then the works continue. I've been doing all this before even they called Sizzla the treasurer. Before everything, I've been doing this without any title, anything, because it was a promise to Daniel and His Majesty.
Rasta family.
Yeah. So the interest of being someone in the office administrating wasn't on my count or card. My duty was solely to build the tabernacle ground.
And then to underscore, because you pointed out that by this time the tabernacle, the area was more or less abandoned. That people had left.
When I say abandoned, I mean animals began defecating on the ground beneath the roof, because it's to that level for years. Yes.
All right. So the daughters' quarters, the bathrooms, all of that building under the
No, the lioness quarters and the daughters' quarters and the kitchen, they were already there. Yeah, right.
All right. So you built
the tabernacle, the bathroom, the office, put up the gate and stuff, and we began taking care of the land.
At what point did you move from being called by Ras Daniel, doing the work after it was abandoned, to now being, as the ancients who came in with you a few years ago, the president?
That was after keeping the banquet, helping the elders. Every celebration, Sizzla would provide finance to get the fire timber, to get the food, to fulfill the prescriptions for the elders, taking them to the doctor, the priest, just about anyone in the Bingy family, but mainly the priests and the elders, the ancient council. Yeah, and concerning anything domestically, to get them home, to get them back. Not only Sizzla, you have the families helping out, other families helping out, but Sizzla now, as the main thing for Daniel was that you have the money, you are the artist, you can get money quick, you don't need none for thief, and you are do the thing. So because of all that, I figure very well they handed over the Treasury Department to Sizzla, based on the fact that I'm the person developing the land. And now Daniel said to me, Daniel sent Junior Negos saying, Sizzla, Mrs. Marley would like to have a meeting with you. And I said, okay, me soon go check mama. Me I do only paleko thing. It was there, it run off until about the next 2 months or a month. Junior Negos came again and said, Sizzla, Daniel is waiting for you to have a meeting with Mrs. Marley, because she'll be going on tour very soon. I said, okay, no problem. I went with Bongo Daniel, myself, Junior Negos to see Mrs. Marley. Bongo Daniel was adamant about not taking Junior Negos because for some reason he just didn't trust Junior Negos. That's Bongo Daniel.
Yeah,
right.
don't trouble.
Anyway, we went in, saw Mrs. Marley.
At 56 Upward, right?
At the museum, yes.
Museum.
We saw Mrs. Marley in her office.
Yeah.
Then we sat, Mrs. Marley, we greeted Mrs. Marley. Mrs. Marley said, Sizzla morning, and everything for the likes I respect. So she said to me now, I would like to cut off the Bingi land. And I said, okay, cut it off in the name of the church, Nyabingi Theocracy Reign. She said, no, I'm going to cut off the land in your name, Miguel Collins, known to the fact that you're developing the land. And I said, okay, if it please thee, let it be.
So this was about when? What year would you say this would have been?
For the record, I'm not remembering well.
But this is after you'd have built up.
This is after Mrs. Marley came to the premises and saw the construction. Yeah. And I heard that she asked, who is doing it? And they told her, Sizzla. So I figure very well, this is why Sizzla got a call.
And I noticed that also, Sizzla, that you have been tweeting, well, at least on your social media, you have been writing about this meeting.
Yes.
And I think this meeting is critical because here we go now. It shed some light on what was in Nana Rita Marley's head also about land and the land ownership at this point. She was very clear, it would seem to me, that the land was still hers, that it was not cut off yet, that it's not placed in anybody's name.
Exactly.
Because of what she said to you.
Yes.
She said to you that now she was ready to cut it off.
Yes.
And to put it in your name.
Yes.
What happened then?
Okay, after leaving Mrs. Marley's office, we went back on the road. You know, Rastafari Vibration, get some refreshment for Daniel. We went back to Augustown. Daniel was pretty excited. So I said, okay. After going back to the Nyabingi premises, the family began asking now, Sizzla, what Mama Marley said? And I said, she said she's going to cut off the land in my name. And from then, persons hearing, some got happy, some got vexed. And from there and then, you got the uproar, people saying stuff, and the list goes on.
Oh, so this is where the conflict
That's
began
just
for you.
one of the entity causing, seemingly, what they're saying is causing the conflict. That is one. The other one was Sizzla is the person to develop the land, called by Daniel. I'm going to spend my own money to do stuff. But in doing so, I'm very conscientious of the fact that based on the minutes of the Nyabingi meetings, there are discrepancies about monies coming in and going out, the treasury and stuff like that, misadministration, people sending stuff for the family, they can't get it. So I said, how can I leave my money with someone when I'm not here? Hence, Sizzla ended up have to spend his own money, be on the premises and do the work for himself. And the most trusted person for me then was Michael Record, because he's the son of Bongo Daniel Vincent Record, who had wanted to develop the premises. So Michael Record should see to it that the duty of his father is being manifested.
That, of course, is you, Ras Mike, is sitting right here.
Right.
So what did your work entail?
Accountability.
Come closer to the microphone.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Meaning?
Meaning money that I get from Sizzla, I make sure it's spent. Touchable.
Where it should go.
Yeah. Not only Sizzla, from anyone. So when you say accountability, transparency, Murgirai, I always say tangible. We need to see what's going in and coming out of the Bingi family. And there wasn't any transparency concerning such. So when I say accountability, that's another thing that brought some sort of vibe against Sizzla again. You know, and families started saying stuff that persons got this for the family and didn't hand it over and all the like. So then I have to take up matters in my own hand to do all these stuff. So while being on tour, I would be at the Bingi Center, live at the Bingi Center, do everything at the Bingi Center, leave Bingi Center, go on tour, come from tour, dear Bingi Center, and that's just it.
At some point, so here you have Mrs. Nana Rita saying to you, I'm going to cut this land off where the tabernacle is. That was at 5 acres, right?
That was the portion that she had already bordered around with a fence.
Right. So that's all like the 5 acres, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What happened? Didn't she cut that off in your name? Because now we know that the land is reclaimed.
That is where we're at right now. So after hearing the interview on the radio with you, Miss Stephanie, and Michael Record, I said the land is being taken back. So is Mama Rita going back on the promise given to the Bingi family before Sizzla came in the picture, and also that she had already spoken to Sizzla that she's going to cut off the land. So I've been there waiting. No persons being saying anything for Rastafari, we need it with title, yes. But if you have misadministration and all these stuff concerning the family, who could Mrs. Marley had trust to cut the land in their name? Because persons, I think very well, wanted to take the land from the Rastafari family. And that's just the old cycle going through.
You're saying that there was that thing. I hear you laughing, Ras Mike. You're saying that there was that thinking, that there was no necessarily to trust, no trust in the system.
Exactly.
In the family, I'll put it that way. So you ask your question after hearing that the land has been reclaimed by Nana Rita and the Marley family. You're saying that you're asking whether or not she's going back on her word, but at the same time you're saying you're understanding it.
So naturally, what I'm saying is that based on Stephanie's words on the media to the public that the land is being taken back, I'm saying to myself, is it that Mrs. Marley went back on the promise of handing over the land to the Rastafari family, and also the promise that she had promised me that she would get me the land for the Bingi family. So
right, why didn't she get you the land? Why wasn't it put in your name? What happened?
That's on her account. I don't know why. It might be because she's a busy person touring or business, but it was on her account to do such. It's in her authority.
But you weren't against that at all?
No, because the words of the ancient are well valued, and Mrs. Marley is an ancient mother for us. So we are there doing stuff, and people saying Rastafari family rich millionaires, they're not doing anything for Rasta. So when I being blessed and whose person's latitude was falling, that I should be the person take this land for Rastafari, I can't deny that. I'd have to accept. And I said yes.
Have you reached out to Stephanie, to any of the Marley family, to Nana, to anyone, to
Well, based on the fact that she's a bit ill, I can't have any dialogue with her out to Mr. Marley concerning the matter. After hearing all this, and Steve's word to Sizzla was, Dada, Mama is a bit, when Mama get much better, then we'll have a conversation with her and I'll get back to you. And I left it right there until now I'm here.
All right. My very special guest in studio, Sizzla Kalonji, Ras Mikey, and we're talking about the land issue as it relates to Scott's Pass Nyabingi Tabernacle in Clarendon. Interesting information coming out. We're learning from Sizzla that Nana Rita Marley had summoned him to a meeting at which he was told that she wanted to transfer the lands at Scott's Pass to his name. Sizzla, would this be on behalf of the Nyabingi in your name?
Yes, everything.
As you say for the record.
Is the total head for such.
Right. You talked also, Sizzla, about the work done on the tabernacle itself, and also the other buildings.
Yes.
Was anything else done there? Because I'm recalling that when I spoke with Stephanie, she said one of the things that her mother wanted to see happening there was also what was done with the land. How was the land used, farming, etc.? Was anything like that done, or was it just a concentration on the building itself?
Naturally, yes. The Rastafari family, over the years, Rastafari are farmers. So the trees there, the fruit trees and all those stuff were planted by the families. I personally bought trees and started planting. Michael Record can give you a much clarity on that.
Michael?
Yeah, for the record, yeah.
Tell us about the farming that took place there. How was the land kept?
Touchable. the land been cut over the years. It's clean. Yeah.
And the farming grown there.
Coconuts,
Coconut
trees,
tree.
just about anything that can be produced on the land and anything that the Rastafari family brought there to be planted.
So what's your thought then on what Stephanie said when she pointed out that part of the issue was also how the land was dealt with?
Well, the underdevelopment of the land is based on the family not having the title and the misadministration of the Nyabingi funds and things going in and out for the Nyabingi family. There could have been any construction on the land properly because persons getting money for the Bingi family not handing over the money touchable. So the land was best kept with Sizzla brought or with celebration. The land was being kept in a proper manner because you got little children coming here, visitors, and as soon as the grass began growing, Bongo Rambo, Mugirai, Daniel, Ives, persons who are caretakers on the land, living there, taking care of the land. That land can't be just vacant with no one there. Those persons would have called Sizzla and said, Sizzla, celebration coming up, we need to get the land prepared. And June and Negos was always there, up and down with the truck to get a fire timber. So the land was well taken care of. So I will not stand for them to drag Mrs. Marley's name through the public in a bad sense concerning the land. The land was owned by Mrs. Marley and still owned by Mrs. Marley. And the best person to keep the land was Mrs. Marley. It's her land. It was already being owned by someone with responsible duty. It was just now the time the Rastafari family needs to advance more concerning repatriation, persons going home. We need to develop the land. So there.
But Ras Ivai says the land was given to the Nyabingi. You're saying that the land is Nana Rita Marley's land.
Yes, it's still in the name of Rita's. You know, so the land was given to the Rastafari family based on Daniel, Data, Dunan, Dago, Mabrak, and all those persons ask her, and it is in the public.
Well, Stephanie says it was permission to use, not a gift.
Then why would the king's grandson and Rita Marley plan the center post? Why would they give Rastafari something and take it back? I don't believe such.
So your understanding is that this was a gift to Nyabingi?
Yes, and that is the reason why Mama Rita herself called me to the meeting to hand over this land so the Rastafari family can do what they want to do concerning repatriation. So I don't believe, honestly, personally, as Sizzla, I don't believe that the land is being taken back. I'm still waiting on Stephen Marley to get to Sizzla concerning Mama's health, so I can ask her about the handing over of the land for the Nyabingi family.
So let me be clear. You have said that you do not believe that the land is being reclaimed by Nana Rita.
No, because she had promised me to hand over the land in my name for the Nyabingi family, and she got sick. And I've called Stephen Marley concerning the matter, and Stephen said, Dada, Mama's sick. When Mama get better, me talk to Mama and then me talk back to you. And I said, okay. And I'm still waiting on Stephen's words to be fulfilled up until now. So I will not allow them to drag Mrs. Marley's name through the gutter and having the Rastafari family bashing against Mrs. Marley when she had called me and said, son, you are one of the son.
But this is one of the things that her daughter spoke to Stephanie in terms of what's happening. You talk about a bonfire, her name being dragged in the mud. All that is being said about her without any kind of a pushback from the community to say, stop it. She says that Nana Rita is distressed about that.
Like I said before for the record, I've called the son, Stephen Marley, and he said, Dada, Mama sick. When Mama get better, me tell Mama, and Mama will give us the directive. So I'm still waiting on Mr. Stephen Marley.
Sizzla, was there a time when you stopped going there?
No. When I'm not there is when I'm back in Kingston for domestic work or to go on tour. At once, All right, for the record, Daniel's wife, Mapunsi, she went away. Mapunsi said, Sizzla, you did a long time I help out the Bingy family. We are going to send money, come give Mikey, and you make it up and build the house. That is the house behind Daniel's house.
What them call White House now.
So that house was being built by Mapunsi, Daniel's wife, because Daniel's first house at the front right there, the red, gold, and green house, is being raised down to the ground, being, based upon the elements of nature. So there and then, Sizzla is not the only person who are developing the land. Other persons are there developing the land. There was a building built for Shanti on the land also. So we began developing the land, and persons began saying, so many millionaire Rasta in a Rastafari world and reggae music and bingy, why they can't help Sizzla to complete the office? So there and then now, the office had been on a pause based upon, Sizzla burning the fire and not having access to certain motherland country with the money. So that is where it's at until now.
One of the things that a lot of people talk about, Sizzla, is you having control of a seal, you being there as a leader when you shouldn't be. This is just citing what people have said. What is your response in this honest and truthful space this morning?
Well, it is a person's responsibility to safeguard what has been entrusted to that person. Now, concerning the seal, I'm an artist. I knew about the contracts, doing business. Going to this bingy center, I asked Daniel, is the church registered? Daniel said, no, Rastaman Church must not be registered to Babylon. No secondary government outside the continent of Africa. Anywhere His Majesty's name is not being called or being mentioned, you should not be a part of it. So I said, okay, nice. So from then I said, is there a seal for the bingy house? Daniel said, yes, but this seal wasn't authorized by the house to be constructed. Bongo Irie Irons went behind the family's back and constructed a seal. And I said, okay. At this time, no one knew about the seal. Even though the seal had been constructed, it wasn't
being used.
Being used, but the family don't know what's happening. So there and then I said, so where's the seal? He said, Jajayan have the seal. Someone say, me I got, not Jajayan, sorry. Bongo Irie Iron has the seal. So I said, I go look for Bongo Irie Iron. I myself and Bingy Mikey went up to Bagwak and look for Bongo Irie Iron and said, Bongo Irie Iron, what about the seal for the Bingy family?
That is years ago,
Years.
Yeah.
Bongo Irie Iron went inside, went for the seal, brought back the seal and gave me the seal. And I took the seal from Bongo Irie Iron. No one knew nothing about this. And I took the seal, me and Bingy Mikey, and went back to Naya Bingy Scotch Pass and give the priest, Bongo Time, the seal. And gave Daniel the seal and the elders. And they said, what? Long we not see this? Years. Some ancient began saying, we don't even know if the seal did exist. And I said, what? I left the seal with the priest and Bongo Daniel. Bongo Daniel and the priest and other ancients said, do not give it back to Irie Iron. We don't know what they're doing with it. And furthermore, is the priest should have had the seal. I said, something, known to the fact that Bongo Irie Iron constructed the seal, in whatsoever sense, I'll take it back to
him.
Right?
Yeah.
And Bongo Irie Irons did give you the seal without any. Right.
So I went back and gave Bongo Irie Iron the seal. And Daniel said, why did he give her the seal? I say, because you said, is Bongo Irie Iron made the seal? And I said, all right, I gave back Bongo Irie Iron the seal because I know what's happening. Years now going, they don't know where the seal is. So persons began saying the seal is by Sassy, the seal is by Bongo Ken, the Bongo Tanya has the seal. And we said, but you are the elders, you should be laying out the foundation that the priests, based upon the Bingy principle, the priest and the guideline, the priest should have the seal. Anyway, I said to Junior Negos, find where the seal is at and bring back the seal to the priest. We're on the road up and down doing stage shows and everything, looking the money to do what domestically. At once, there was some celebration coming up for the family and His Majesty. I sat to the south side of the tabernacle, close to this tank, square tank Daniel built. And then I saw Juna Negos coming to me and saying, King, you know, the priest says he doesn't want anything to do with the seal because they took the seal about 3 months now and he doesn't know what they're doing with it. I don't want to have anything to do with the seal. So I said, what? Because naturally, the Bingy family don't really know Sizzla. And the Bobo family don't know Sizzla. Sizzla just an artist, boss out in the world, I do the work. They called Sizzla and I did the work. So the same thing I did at the Naya Bingy Center, I went to Bobo Hill and I did the same thing. Same process with the tabernacle, being raised to the foundation based upon natural elements of nature. And I constructed the tabernacle for the Bobo Shanty out my pocket, same way with other persons.
Have you also done this on land that doesn't belong to the Bobo Shanty?
I did it on the same land belonging to the Bobo Shanty.
No,
which is
owned
Bobo Hill.
owned by them?
No, they're in the land based upon the law, living there and such, because Rastafari had always have a little problem to get the monies to do stuff and stuff. So
what do you think about this problem of land ownership and Rastafari? And do you and what do you think is the responsibility of people like yourself to continue to pressure government, especially within the Coral Gardens context, to ensure that land is made available in the right and legal way to Rastafari and Jamaica?
it should be, but we have for ourselves, Rastafari is a government, no secondary government outside the continent of Africa. We need to pool our resources together, and we are so much with wealth now. We need to get ourselves together as Rastafari, whether you are being appointed to an office or not, as long as you're saying Rastafari, because you got other religions doing stuff, they're uniting and building their stuff. So we need to do the same for His Majesty.
Do you think that Scott's Pass, for example, that a delegation or a suggestion should be made to the Marley family?
There's
for
no
Rastafari
problem with Scott's Pass other than
to purchase the land.
No, the land was being given by Mrs. Marley herself as some sort of kindness. So all needed to be done is just for her to hand over the land. But seemingly based upon what's happening now, there wasn't anyone with that realms of responsibility to take the land, because I figure why Mrs. Marley didn't give the land. She didn't want to give the land to somebody in their name that would run off with the land. So known to the fact Sizzla came and built on the land.
Hi everybody. See my favorite star. I put his credibility right, because people there are calling his name up in bullshit, basically saying that how he have to give back seal and all this thing. Every single video they're saying he has to give back seal. He's not a proper Rasta. This, that, and the other. Judging by what he's explained in this interview, I feel he deserves honors. You know what I mean? Because you know you can't talk about a man's name. You have just the works what he do that speaks volumes. And this man, I know he does a lot of work. Even me, my daughter was talking about the stuff that he does, and we give him honors still, because even him now, he's raising a calf called Kalanchi calf, right? And he's actually thinking a bit broader than others who has carried the priesthood. I don't know whether you understand the differences of the Rastafarian movement, the different sets, because he's part of Bobo Shanti Hill. He's a Nyabingi man. So, and like he said, most Rastafarians are either gardeners, they either makers of stuff. They're always doing something with their hand. They're very creative people. They're not creative people. The ones who's not creative is the ones who's creative who'll be on the corner selling like yam or selling brooms. He's one of those ones. He come from that set, the Prince Emmanuel set he comes from. So he so not only is he a Naya Bingi priest, he is explanation of his involving the eviction in Scott's past um, eviction, what is going on, and and even he's not saying, well, it's not right that the Mali shouldn't take back the place. He agrees that they should take back the place, because if they're going to make money off of it or do something good with it, it's better it go back to them. Hopefully they'll pay him all the money that he's paid into the land, because he's paid into the land, he's put trees there, he's fixed toilet, he's done this, he's done out a lot. So it's, so I think what also is the problem is the bills. The bills. That's, I think it's the bills must have come in. People not paying bills, whatever the case may be. But yes. But anyway, it's soon's gonna finish anyway, and then I'll come back on and talk.
I can't go nowhere again. So I think the best person is to do it with Sizzla. Sizzla been doing all this stuff. So
Is Naya being registered in Jamaica?
should not. And if it's being registered, not with the sense of my knowledge, it shouldn't be. It will be contrary to the fact of the duty. No secondary government. So this is where it's at. There is no problem with the Naibingi Scots Pass grounds concerning development, because I've already did that. There should just be a patience for Mrs. Marley to hand over the land. So the family, I told the family what Mrs. Marley said. It should be the Sizzla's duty to follow up by right, and the family to pressure Sizzla to get it done. Okay. But we've been waiting on Mrs. Marley. We can't pressure her because she was the one who stated such matter and told her secretary to put it in the book.
Sizzla, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm just going to give you 3 or so minutes to say your final words. Let me take a quick break. Of the Africa Forum, it is Running African, and in the final minute of this discussion with Sizzla Kalonji and Ras Mikey on the land situation, the land controversy, contentious issue unfolding at Scots Pass. Sizzla, is there anything else that you would want the family to know that we might not have covered here, or anything you want to underscore or reiterate?
What I would like the family to know, that we should answer to the call of the Prime Minister for the million persons to go to Ethiopia this Sunday. Ethiopia Christmas, the Melkam Gena. So we need to follow up with these matters, and we can't, because our present matter at hand concerning the land issue and people talking about the seal should deter us from the duty of the Nyabingi to return all black man, woman and child to Africa repatriation. The gate is open, so we need to agitate for repatriation, and we should find the Mali family and see what's really happening. See if we can still have this land, because we need this piece of land to have a safe haven for the Rastafari family to get off the street to chant. It's really insulting in this time they can't chant and they've been left out in the open. So then the Naibingi family had given me a tabernacle at 40 August Town, and it's in good condition, and it's open, accessible to just about anyone.
Yeah, I've been there.
Naturally.
So I don't know.
So I'm here to clear.
So you're saying that in the meantime, where the different events would occur, the events that would happen at Scots Pass, you're saying that you're opening the Nyabingi Tabernacle in Augustown for those events?
Yes, it was never been closed. It was given by the Nyabingi family. They came there and chanted. And for the record again, that is where they got the idea of the Millennium Council. Bongo Daniel took Sizzla, drove over the whole entire highland of Jamaica. Me go in some crevices, corner, mountain, rock, to find some Rasta elders from that time. And these elders, they came and they had the Nyabingi at Augustown. It was in the same process of the millennium for Ethiopia. Persons came there and saw elders and see that the elders are here, and it is the Haitian Council now, and Sizzla got the going and did the stuff, and they tried to form a coup to usurp the government, being theocracy, to form the Millennium Council again, just to get bad administration. Because when you form these other councils, these councils and their administrators take stuff from people of the world, but don't hand it over to the Nyabingi theocracy. That is the trick, to represent with other name and not the name of the Nyabingi theocracy. And known to the fact that Sizzla is a treasurer, he is a public figure. Anything with Sizzla will go public concerning Rastafari and the nation. Persons having problems with that again.
Well, we're going to have a conversation, I think, with the Nyabingi, with the Millennium Council to see what are the issues there, because you've mentioned the Millennium Council a few times, and I think it's only right that we have them respond.
Yes.
Just before you go, because I know you've been doing some work in Augustown, and I want to thank you for coming in, for being here so early. But don't want you to leave without telling us about the work you're doing in Augustown, especially with the youth. What's happening in Augustown?
The work in Augustown is a follow-up from the Nyabingi theocracy reign, taking my premises, preparing it for the redemption, and it's a follow-up from all the they say mandate, but it's not mandate. We got the Zion date, where Rastafari family must return to Africa, and the 5-point agenda from Bobo Hill. So it's the duty of all the mansions of Rastafari. I've made my place secure and well kept, accommodated for process of Nyabingi Festival. Just about anything, as you've heard the Prime Minister said in the stadium, that Sizzla's home is now a community center. Because they had done their investigation and knew very well that it is in that like doing so for Rastafari. Yes. So we've constructed the museum. It's not finished, to be quiet, and we're setting up like a Kalonji cafe where we can serve guests coming there, and the premises is being upgraded, well kept and altered just for the purpose of a party.
See, he's thinking about his community. I mean, I haven't heard Spragger Benz, I haven't heard Capleton talk like this. I haven't heard a few of them not talk like this. He is really setting up his community, and he's using his own house as a community centre for the youths. And there is a YouTube video of him showing the youths how to dig and do cement on the land and all sorts. So he is not just talking here, he's really doing it. Oh, okay, garlic. Okay, thank you, Christine. Yeah, so he is really doing the works, you know what I mean? So, the main fact they was calling his name and saying you have to bring back seal and this and that and the other. He's literally doing what Rastas, the old Rasta men used to do, where they work with the youths, they work with the community, they teach them certain things to the youths, get influenced by them, they start growing their locks, they start living like them in a kind of way. Even though some Rastas' reputations are not very good, but there are some Rasta men who do the works, and he is definitely doing the works. So, you know, good on him for that. Still, you see now, right? He's all getting museum together. Now, how many of them can say that, getting museum together, getting CAF together, making it kind of a tourist kind of situation, so you can make money for the community living at, you know? So I just thought I'd just sing this one because I've been seeing a lot of videos going around with his name. And so when I saw he cleared his name, I was quite happy that he did it, really, because I was wondering what the heck was going on at first. I was wondering what is going on and how he come into this. But I'm glad he is a man who stand up and talk for himself. He's not taking the fool for nobody, and it's all good, So let me see. I think there's a little bit more to play. Hold on, let me see.
Just about any public activity.
We're going to invite ourselves and come have a look at the work that you're doing.
No problem.
Thank you so much, Sizzla. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much, Ras Mankey. And I know that this discussion will continue outside of this space. What would you want to say to persons who are now going to engage in further discussions?
That Sizzla is the person to help in keeping the family together. Sizzla is the person with the love and the joy for Rastafari. Sizzla is the person that said no Bingi family
can be separated. Only way the Bingi family, these persons are not abiding by the principles and the guidelines of the Naya Bingi theocracy. So when you're saying that Bingi house split, the Bingi house can't split. Bone separation. Bingi house are we are well united. The fact matter is that persons get caught being exposed are trying to shift attention from themselves to Sizzla. But not a problem. I'm here to clear the way. So the final directive from the elders, the ancient council in the tabernacle, from the priest before he died, is that Sizzla, please to finish the office and buy a big safe, put in the office, and you can put the seal inside the safe and other important documents for Rastafari on the premises, the headquarters, Scott's Pass, Nairobi Center. That is why I'm adamant about getting that land for Rasta.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sizzla Kalonji. Thank you so much, Ras Mike.
You know, and Sizzla's always been one who used to roar a lot in his songs. He used to roar in his songs a lot. He from good ways onwards, all them sides, all those things. The only time he fell a little bit was when he started making the other kind of dancehall tunes. But he is really true that because he's travelled to Gambia. I can't remember if he went somewhere else. He's travelled to Africa. He's come back. He's actually lived the rest of man's dream, you know, where he can travel, where he can bring back resources. He can learn the children. Even his children have a legacy fall on because he is kind of similar to the Marleys in a certain ways, and I think that's why he understands where the Marleys is coming from and where he can determine that how it's not a dig at Rasta, right? He sees that they want to use it for other things, and obviously, right, hopefully, right, they will give him back his money that he's paid into the place. So he said there is other places that the Nyabingi order can go and hold the Nyabingi the Nyabingi sessions and do their celebrants to Menin, Empress Menin and Selassie and all that. So, he is a very grounded person, I gotta give him that. He's very grounded, he's very well put over. He didn't stammer. He didn't think like a typical those bobber dreads normally go. He put himself well over. He knows what he's about. He followed through. He came into view with a must be open-minded perspective, and he put everything straight. So you know, he is truly an example. I mean, there's probably others who is an example as well, but those ones you never hear about. Those are the ones you don't see, you know, unless like you are an artist and other types. You know what I mean? So big up to him still. You know what I mean, for clearing your name, because I was because otherwise I'll be looking at you next way because though I don't listen to him as much as I used to back in the day. But I still remember he was one of the artists that I used to listen to on a regular basis when I was in the rest of the Rasta movement. He was one of the artists that influences a lot of men and women as well, like black woman and child, etc. So you know you cannot be throwing someone under the bridge because you lot don't wanna do your due diligence and pay when you lot have all them skills. I mean, skilled, and you also teach your daughters for skills and sons, daughters building and all this. But like I said, he has a video of him teaching the youths how to do cement, etc., etc. So, you know, but with that said, you know me, right? When we finish chat, when there's a switch off. But thank you for coming through. Because I stepped away and went and washed up while it was playing because I had something to do. But thank you, Christine. Thank you, Chief Woolly Hair, for coming through. For coming through. And I know this because like they might say, but why are you bothered as you are in the UK or whatever and you're not arrest the heritage or whatever. The main fact of it is that how like when you was part of something, you never not move away from the thing. So you therefore have to see where it's gonna go because there is lots of words being thrown around and people's names being thrown in. Steve's name keeps coming up a lot as well. So you have to listen to every side of the story before that you come to a conclusion. And he definitely has cleared his name. He's, as far as I'm concerned, hopefully they're not going to put his name in anything again because he's done his part and he's continuing to do his part. So he puts out some yes, he's very lyrical man. I think he still does music now. I don't know, I haven't heard any new stuff from him, but I think he's just busy working on his community. I think that's what he's doing now. He don't make music as much as he used to, like he used to do in the 90s and the early stages when he first came out. Now, so he's doing what he's supposed to do. Oh, hi tinfoil. Hi tinfoil. So yes, because a Rasta way of living is basically they cater to their community. They deal with health, wealth, community. Some okay, even though there is some bad, like I said, bad reputation, bad presentation of Rastas. There are some bad presentations of Rastas, but they're not all like that. They are very educational. They're teachers, they're lecturers, well, teachers, lecturers, scholars, health, wealth, all of that. So, you know, so I based his name. That's all I can say on my part because he is a big favorite of mine. Apart from Morgan Heritage, he is one of my biggest love because I always say I wanted a man just him. If I was to meet a man, the man has to be just like him in certain ways because he has certain ways of a man. Like he has morals and principles. And being he is of the Nyabingi order. They study the law, they study the constitution of Rasta, the constitution, they study a few things. They don't just sit there and smoke marijuana and that's it. Right? That's not all what they're about. That's some of them who just sits down and smoke and do what they're doing. Some of them are very economical people moving away, like Muta Baruka, who I've put up. He is very much a great he is the philosopher, the elder of highest levels in Rasta. He's very well respected. Even if they have their little fallout, they still respect him because when he talks, he doesn't tee nothing up. He just put it straight. That's why I praise as well. He's another builder, Muta Baruka, and yeah, you know, yeah, they are great philosophers. Great philosophers. They read a lot of books. They're all about the books, reading and repatriation to Africa, which is what he was saying. He wants to start a movement so they can all repack to Ethiopia because that's what Bongo. I forgot his name. There's these two elders that did move to Ethiopia, and a whole heap of them. They go in a like a few of them, or so that idea still is there. So as much as people is burning it down now, really, you have to be able to be happy, and that's what the aim is. Where you can go build land, build houses on land. And also Selassie is also giving them the leeway to go to Addis Ababa, certain places. So I understand where he's coming from. So, I'm gonna come off now because, but thank you for listening in on this. I know it's a post. Yeah. Thank you for listening in on this video and taking part. I might just have to show them phases of Rasta as well, because I feel people get it all mixed up. Because they don't just sit to marijuana, all of them. They don't do that. They don't. Mutabaruka, he don't. Weed, he is very much an earth man. So with that said, I am gonna come off. Have a good day and a good afternoon. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and also please videos, logged videos. Well, there are loads of information in them. There's a lot of information. You have to go back, look at all as well. So with that said, I'm gonna come on. Have a good day.